Mike Gill, State of Corruption. We had court today. You won't believe this. Read this. Enclosed, you will find the City of Nashua's appearance filed on behalf of the Nashua Police Department. Right. So what happened was, after having the sign in Nashua for 16 years, never been fined, they turn around and want to fine me, I don't know, $30,000, $40,000. The police, they said it was scrolling, which it's not. So don't worry about it. They only missed the measurement of the sign by double. See, they weren't interested in the measurements of the sign. It was to extort me and what's on the sign. Let's think about it. The Nashua Police Department. Now, I've had drug dealers on that sign for almost a year. Do you think any one of those cops came in? No. Kelly Ayotte from Nashua. She was on the sign for corruption. You don't think she used his influence? Well, let me put it this way to you. The lawyer for the city and state was again named Steve Bolton. I'll show you his picture. And the code enforcers was Shaughnessy Madison. I'll show you those pictures. Why don't you ask them? You know what they did before court? They took me in a room and you know what they said? Forget about it. Right. I didn't have to pay him a dime. Just leave. You know what I said to them? Nah, I ain't going. I came here to do a video. I came here to have 1 million viewers turn around and see the corruption in this court. The extortion to shut my sign down and leverage mortgage specialists more. Where did it come from? The Nashua Police Department? Think about it. These criminals are on the signs. Why don't you investigate? Right? You're afraid to investigate, you just might find something. So you send your boy over. So you're going to see the beginning of this video. But you're not going to see the video in the courtroom because we had another situation with a judge. All right, let's watch the first part of this. First of all, the city just came to me 10 minutes before and said, forget about the whole thing. Isn't that right, boys? The thing here is, Your Honor, this is extortion. That sign's been up for 16 years. It's what's on the sign. Drug dealers, Kelly Ayotte, that's why we're here. Remind you, right? And all those 16 years, I've never been fined once. And they said approximately 70 feet square foot sign. The sign used to be 108.
Okay, sir.
This is purely extortion,
Sure.
And I want to make it simple. They tried to drop their case.
Sir. Okay. That is an issue you can address at your trial. All right. You're here for the arraignment. I need to go.
No, I know. This is for the millions of viewers at home.
Okay, sir, if you interrupt me.
Now, the second part of this, you're going to hear the judge turns around and all of a sudden he goes, hey, I can't find the paperwork for a camera. So the cameraman, who just happens to be my son Clay, went to jail in shackles. Right. You get to hear him. You don't get to see it because they shut down the video, and later on you hear that I agree to get the audio, not to use the video. But I will give it to Mr. Trump, President Trump, and I will give it to the feds, and you assholes will go to jail. But let's play. Listen.
All right, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we are videotaping this, Your Honor.
Turn the video off. Do not interrupt me again. Turn the video off.
Why is that?
Turn the video off. Sir, stand up.
I got to.
Stand up.
Okay. Now the third part, and the only reason you can hear a second or a third part, because the pinheads forgot to shut the camera off. When they stole it from my son, they put it on the a railing, and it kept playing. Now, I'm going to keep to not putting other people on there because I said that I would. I wouldn't, so I won't. But you get to hear them. I catch the bailiff taking the chip out of the camera. You hear in court, they tell him to get out of there. And I tell the judge. The judge was okay with him stealing the fucking chip. But now when I caught him, he goes, do you promise not to use the video? They were waiting for me. You see? They didn't want you to see what happened here. They wanted to make it go away. Remember, this isn't a problem. All I had to do was say, thank you, goodbye. Now I'm doing this, and I'm doing it with the state, and I'm doing it criminally in these courtrooms where the Fed should be dealing with it. But they will be, and so will Mr. Trump. You'll be happy to know that New Hampshire and state of corruption is on a first priority list. No shit, assholes, and I'm coming for yous. Mike Gill, state of corruption.
You told me about the extortion, you told me those issues, I've heard that 2 or 3 times. Is there anything that you haven't told me relative to your plea that I can help you with today?
To the plea, other than the fact that it's corrupt and what they're saying isn't true. I don't think I've ever had 4 lines in a script. They never measured the sign. They had it at 70 square feet. It's ridiculous. And that's why they wanted to settle with nothing prior to this court. And I did send this form in.
I'll object, Your Honor, to any discussion, any
Well,
information.
did you
about
say it or
discussions
not?
we had
First of all, Your Honor, wasn't I talking?
Okay, 2 things. 2 things, sir. If there's an objection, if both parties could stop and let me rule on the objection, please. All right. The objection, Mr. Gill, is if there were settlement negotiations aren't admissible in court. And the reason being, sir, is that they want, when you're doing settlement negotiations, you want both parties to be open and frank. And
Right. So it's extortion. He admits it's extortion and turns around and not try to come in here. And then turns around and makes sure we don't have a camera. And surprisingly, we have the form for the camera, which I've only done hundreds of times, go missing. Interesting. I will put this on the internet, and I guarantee you we'll have over 1 million views of the corruption that happens here.
All right, sir, is there anything else relative to your non...
No, I'm going to sue the town too. And I'm going to put a hold notice and find out if they were talking into AOT that is political and corruption. It's funny, right? The sign gets shot by a couple of arrows, no cops. They crawl in the sign and cut through all the fiber optics, no cops. I've got to replace the sign finally to electronics, and then we get the town. Only because I've got drug dealers. And you know what's funny? Nobody from the town has ever come into the office and say, hey, what about those drug dealers? What about that corruption? But they turn around and measure the sign incorrectly. That they do have time for. So I'd like the court to know what really is going on.
And where is the sign, sir?
What is it?
Where is it?
The sign?
Yes, sir.
It's on Amherst Street in Nashua.
Yeah, no, I know the area. Where in Amherst Street, sir?
I can't hear you, Your Honor. Whispering again.
I'll speak up. Where on Amherst Street is it, sir?
327.
27. What's that next to? I'm just trying to get a picture of where we're
Well, geez, I don't think we have much of a problem there, boys. We can't find the sign. It's right at the old Friendlies.
The old, okay.
It's the sign's about as big as this.
It's by the old McDonald's.
Right.
Across
So
the
for
old-
16 years it's been running the same way, and they just saw it now.